Today I'm going to be doing an undercut haircut, but in a very unique way, and I'm really excited about this. So today's video is in partnership with Lavivid Hair, and I'm going to be turning this hair unit into an undercut haircut on this mannequin. This is going to be a wild transformation, and I just want to showcase that you can use this. Right? I've worn it before as an undercut. There's other people who use this exact unit with a variety of different colors as a full undercut haircut. And I thought at first, oh, it's a hair system, it's not going to look natural. But because we're using a very thin skin base, this is a poly base, the hairline, and what I love about Lavivid Hair's products is that they're hand-created, handcrafted, hand-sewn, and you literally cannot get a more natural looking hairline than this. And the cool thing is, and I like to show this in all my videos, is that, you know, that's the scalp right there. And it looks so real, so natural, people can't even tell when looking at it, and that's what everybody loves about this. See, that's the front right there. All right, so when you have a system like this, it's actually better for styles if you want to wear your hair back like a full undercut or even something spiky, anything off your face, because it's so realistic and natural. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this first, get rid of all this hair. I'm going to create kind of a faded undercut. I'm going really, really short actually, but I'm going to leave a little bit of hair in through here. It's still going to be disconnected, but I want to create a nice taper throughout the back and the sides, and then we'll move into the next process of applying the unit. Okay, the haircut is complete, and just right off the bat, I'm going to say this is not the easiest mannequin to cut, just the way this hair is stitched in, but I try to fade it as best as I can, as you can see right in through here. Now I'm going to start the process of putting on the unit. In the description below, not only is a discount code for 15% off any purchases on lavividhair.com just by simply using code TheSalonGuy, but also the exact hair system or unit I'm using is in the description below if you want this exact color. Now let's get into the process for applying the unit, and I'm going to start with what I'm using. So as always, I like to use No Sweat, which is from Professional Hair Labs, and I'm just going to spray that on the scalp area. It's also, you know, really helpful. That helps prevent any sort of sweating, because someone like myself, I sweat all the time. So let this sit on the hair for a minute or so, let it dry. Then I'm going to be using the scalp protector from Walker. Okay, this is a really, really great product here. It's essential to use on your scalp because it's like applying a protective screen on your scalp so that the glue does not irritate or cause any issues. Then we're going to use the Supreme Ghost Bond, which is this right here. I like to use this version because it has a little bit of a stronger hold. And then lastly, this is the Just Right positioning spray from Walker. And what's cool about this is something new that I'm going to be using in these videos. This is really helpful if you need to reposition and get the hair unit right in place. A lot of times once you put the glue down and you put this system on, it's too late. You can't move it. What if you went too high or too low, whatever. This positioning spray is designed to spray this on, and it's designed to help you reposition the unit right before it dries. So that's why it's called a positioning spray. It really helps you position the unit. Really awesome. So now that this is pretty much dry, I'm going to go in with the scalp protector, and I like to shake it up just a little bit, give it a little press, and then you can start to work it throughout the scalp. This is a must when using this and using these units, because you really do need some sort of protective base and coating on the scalp. And this is something that is ideal and essential. So I'm going to let this dry for maybe, again, about a minute or so. Then we are going to apply the Supreme Ghost Bond, which is right here. I'm going to use a bowl like this, a plastic bowl, and then also a rubber brush. I suggest using rubber brushes like this simply because it really applies easily to the scalp, and it doesn't really stick to this until like later. If there's any excess, it'll dry up and you can just kind of peel it right off. Okay, so I've applied the Walker glue into the bowl here, and now I'm going to dab the brush in, and I'm going to start. Now I tend to leave the back or the front last, and I like to just work the product in starting from kind of the middle and then work my way towards the back and sides, and then I'll work towards the front last. Now we're going to let this dry, and you can use a blow dryer on it if you want. I also suggest applying 2 to 3 layers of the Ghost Bond. Once one layer is fully dry, then apply the second one, wait again, and then do the third application, just to really help make sure that the unit adheres to the scalp. Now I'm just going to show you guys something when I'm cutting the base in the front here. What I like to do is I like to cut the hair from underneath, or cut the excess skin off, and I do it from underneath the base. This way I could see the hair or the area that needs to come off. Okay, I'm trying to get this right in through here, but you see under like this is the excess, and I'm cutting underneath. So that means that I'm only getting what needs to be cut, because I want to preserve whatever hair. And that's how I tend to get a very natural looking hairline on these, is that I'll cut it like this, and then I'm going to reshape the actual base itself after I adhere it to the scalp. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go back in, and this is a lot of refining, especially on hair systems and a hair unit like this, because of not only the quality of it, just the way it's made, is you really can cut this in a way, which is what I'm trying to do here, that it looks so natural that you really can't even tell. So a good process is, while the first layer of glue or so is drying, this may be a good time, or you can do this before. It really depends on you, but this is really the key to keeping the hairline looking as natural as possible. And the way these units come is that the hair, the front like this, it is obvious where the excess poly is. So just think of this as kind of like architecture. You know, you're really trying to cut the hairline as close to where the stitching is as possible, where the beading is, right? Now I'm going to apply the positioning spray, and the directions say apply the Just Right over the adhesive area. The amount you spray will determine the amount of time you have to move the unit. Place the unit on the head and move into place. This product is also great for touch-ups. So this is giving us a limited time to work this on. So I'm generously applying it. Now I'm going to line up the unit, and I like to just tilt the head back a little bit so I can see what's going on here. And I've got the front now ready to go. And let's do this. So I'm going to lay this down, stretch the hair out a little bit. And again, I'm leaving some of the excess length into the unit so I can then go back in and cut off any excess lace. So now the positioning spray, all right? Okay, so we can now work this a little bit more down towards the front here. And yes, it is actually allowing me to move the unit and to position it into place fairly easily. Now, it's not something that's gonna slip and slide all over the place, but I do notice that it's allowing me plenty of wiggle room here to move the unit downwards if I need to reposition it here. You can also take a towel and you can hold it down like this to really help push the unit down and make sure it helps secure in place. And one thing I do want to point out is look at the hairline. Look how natural it is and the flow of it. The one thing I do like and what I try to do with hairlines is I try to not make it look so straight across, because you may get some hairlines that do that, and that's the kind of technique that I try to do. But what's important is how this right in through here is pretty much undetectable, and that's, again, what I love about this unit. Okay, so if for any reason, and this is completely normal, you either miss a spot or you didn't get enough glue on here, that's why I like to do the hairline last and do it with caution. You can also take the tip of the brush or even like a toothpick or something that's really, really, really thin, and then you can lift the unit right in that hairline area and simply apply the glue or the adhesive right to the area that it's needed. And this helps prevent from it getting a little messy, and it's really great for fine-tuning the unit and where you need the glue. Great, now I'm just going to work the hairline back down, and we're just going to hold a little bit of pressure on there for a few seconds. This glue, once it gets on there, it sticks, but you always want to make sure that you have a secure base. And that's, again, why I love doing this, because you can really put the icing on the cake here. And again, you know, you don't want to go to somebody who's going to do kind of a rush job on this. You want to make sure that somebody is taking their time and they are going to be applying it with care and with caution as well. All right, so let's find out where the hair separates right in through here. And I'm going to draw a line here with my comb. And also the hair most likely will not be adhered to the scalp. Whoops. The hair won't be adhered to the scalp simply because we left it out longer. So this is actually fine, and it's okay for us to cut this. So what I'm going to do is, there's my section right there that I need to cut. So I'm going to do this throughout the entire head, and then we'll come back and start the actual haircut. Great, so now what I've done is I've cut the unit directly where it needs to be here, like that, following the area where I created the undercut base, but at the same time, you know, following the pattern of the balding area, and that's where I cut all the excess. So now we have a perfectly balanced unit, and I like to, again, just press down to make sure everything is locked on. And now we're going to actually start the cutting. So I'm going to start with a parting pretty much right down the middle because this way it'll give me an even balance and perfect symmetry. So with undercuts, I always want to make sure that I'm leaving the front the longest, because if it's too short, it's really not going to work out too well. So we have to establish how long we want this. So I've got an idea of how long I want it, and now I'm going to use the fine teeth of the comb, and all I'm doing is literally cutting a line all the way to the back and then around. So when it comes to the sides here, as you can see, what I'm doing is the same thing with the back here. You don't want to have it too long, but you don't want to have it too short. Because I've seen a lot of times with undercuts and haircuts, you know, a client will come in and his back is so long compared to the front that it's just so unbalanced. So what you need to really do is make sure, as you can see, we have a longer haircut going into a perfectly even haircut. Or if it's too short, what's going to happen is it's just going to be too short. It's not going to look right. It's just going to, you know, it's going to maybe spring up a little bit. It may not lay down properly. It could really cause some issues if it's cut too short. Unfortunately, I do see a lot of this happening. So just make sure that the person cutting your hair is familiar with using scissors and doing these types of haircuts. All right, so now I am following the same pattern going into the sides here. And then I'm going to angle my fingers so that the hair is going to be longer towards the front. Here we go in the very, very front here. My fingers are angled downwards like that, just to create a longer look. The reason we want to keep this longer in the front is because this is the part that needs to go back. Always give it a secondary check here. So the very, very, very front of your hair should end up looking like this, where it comes to a point where it's longest right here in the front. That's what you want to see, because now when you brush everything back, it's all going to be symmetrical and balanced, and it's going to, this front piece is going to stay back, right? Like how we're doing right there. So let's do the same thing on this side here. I'm going to comb this straight back. I'm getting the exact results that I'm looking for. So typically with undercuts, you know, you are going to see them like this in the back, right? It's going to come to somewhat of a point. It's very, very normal, right? Unless you're combing it and you're looking at it, that's what you're going to see. You know, you can sit there and try to perfect it all day. That's fine. If you want, you don't have to, but there you go. So I'm very, very happy with what I'm seeing in through here. And I did the fade because, again, I think it helps transition into this, but the haircut is not over. And this is the real key to cutting these haircuts. Now, I like to always slightly layer the hair, because what that's going to do is that is going to help. I'm just going to step out of the way here. It's really going to help with the flow of the haircut. And what I'm doing is I'm starting right in the back and I'm following the head shape, the round of the head, and I'm just simply putting some layers in. Not a lot, because I don't want to cut this too short, but I do want to have a nice flow to it. A lot of times these haircuts they're ruined simply because it's just a big clump of hair on someone's head. And it's not really layered like this. Just removing that slightest bit of weight in throughout the top here is going to be really, really, really helpful. All right, so if you're getting one of these at the barbershop or the hair salon or whatever, just say, hey, could you mind just adding a light layer? But tell them, because sometimes stylist or barber might hear layering. One, they may not really know what to do, and two, they may actually end up cutting off way too much hair. and you may end up having layers that are just way too short and not balanced in with the rest of the haircut. So you got to make sure that the person cutting your hair actually knows what the heck they're doing. All right, so this is all done in through here, and the haircut now is complete. So you're not going to see a huge difference as far as the haircut goes right off the bat. But what you will notice is when you're styling this. Now look what happened already, okay? I'm able to get a little more volume in through here. If I wanted it, I can flip it over both sides like this, and I can play around with it. You can get more texture. That's what the layers do. So now let's go ahead and blow dry it. All right, so I just want to show you guys the finished product here. This is without using any product, actually. It's just from me blow drying it and getting it nice and smooth. So here you can see, right, a lot of times people want this type of haircut or this undercut here, and look at all that volume we have, right? But I just want you to look up close here. Look at that. All right, see how natural that hairline is right there? That is what's crazy. There it is. That is what's crazy, is look at how natural the hairline is, and there's the scalp. That's the scalp. It's to mirror what a real scalp looks like and what hair looks like. This looks phenomenal, undetectable, right? And that's what's great about this. And also the reason, what I also like about this hair system is that, and it also comes down to the way it's applied, is that you're not trying to get a perfectly straight across hairline. This is what keeps it looking natural. So the haircut has a great flow to it. You can put some product in if you want to, and you can style this. And I just want to really showcase how you can still have a really cool undercut haircut while even wearing a hair system. If you are interested in using these units, if you're a licensed barber or a hairstylist, you can email tina@lavividhair.com. and she will help you out. She's really, really nice, very, very sweet, and very helpful. And we do have big plans to start some training once this lockdown is kind of over with. So I'm gonna start hopefully being able to do some live models, doing some training seminars. So if you are a stylist, let me know in the comments below. I would not be working with this company if I did not like their products. Plain and simple. That's what it comes down to. So don't forget, in the description below is the actual unit, the link to the unit itself. Also, TheSalonGuy is the discount code for 15% off if you are a consumer and you are looking to purchase products. All the products I used today in the video, especially the positioning spray, is available at lavividhair.com, so definitely check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time for more videos with TheSalonGuy.